free and easy to get. You don't need insurance or an appointment to get your vaccine. Vaccines are available at many locations near you.
And now we're going to double the value. Kid, you know.
The COVID-19 vaccine is always free of cost. You can visit pharmacies, community health centers, and other health providers in your neighborhood.
And now for the lightning round. Kid, you know.
Delta variant of COVID is a mutation that has health experts worried because it's twice as contagious.
Then for our finale. Kid, you know.
The best way to protect yourself from the COVID Delta variant is to get fully vaccinated. Get your vaccine today.
Find out more at kingcounty.gov/vaccine. Kid, you know.
This is Big Poppy, host of Jazz from the Cabinets. Join me each week for a listening tour of the first century of jazz, an eclectic mix of Dixieland, big band, cool jazz, bebop, contemporary jazz, world jazz, all jazz in all forms. That's Jazz from the Cabinets with Big Poppy on Rainier Avenue Radio, streaming worldwide on RainierAvenueRadio.world.
You are listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Don't forget to log on www.RainierAvenueRadio.world.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Clean Greens Radio. My name is Christina Chambers. I'm hosting solo today, giving Bri a little rainy day break. So let's start off with our land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that we are on the traditional land of the first people of Seattle, the Coast Salish, past and present, and honor with gratitude the land itself and the Duwamish, Suquamish, Nisqually, Snoqualmie, and Muckleshoot tribes. We also acknowledge what has happened on this land to impact the lives of the Black community in Seattle due to redlining, the systemic and oppressive mechanism of anti-Black racism enacted by the white leaders, politicians, business people, and others rob Black families of the opportunity to build and pass down generational wealth. To share your own story of home or land loss in the central area of Seattle, please contact us here at Clean Greens on behalf of the Black Dollar Days Task Force, King County Reparations Project, www.blackdollardaystaskforce.org, or cleangreensfarmmarket.com. You can email or call us. Thank you. So welcome, happy Tuesday. We have a guest today. Cedar is in the studio waiting. But before that, we are gonna make an announcement. One second. Okay. We have an announcement. There is a holiday vendor fair at Columbia City Theater this Saturday and next Saturday, the 16th, from 11 to 5. This fair is featuring local business vendors. Also this Saturday, we're hosting a free food giveaway from 11 to 1 and a toy drive from 11 to 5 in partnership with Atlantic Street Center. So that's a holiday vendor fair event at the Columbia City Theater this Saturday and next Saturday. And then there's the free food giveaway, 11 to 1, and a toy drive, 11 to 5. And that's this Saturday also. There will be live DJs, live musical performances on the stage. So come out, bring your family. Sounds like a great holiday family event. Okay, I think we can bring on Cedar to talk about his topic today. Hi, Cedar.
Hi, how are you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Not bad. So today I thought I would talk on environmental sustainability as far as crop growing and also our water quality, because with all the toxic industrials and the impermeable landscape that we were kind of talking on last time I was here with my friend, we talked a bit about the water levels and the lack of canopy for trees. It also, of course, with the lack of trees down in South Seattle and in downtown, it leads to more flooding because there's the concrete, it just runs over, and if there's nothing in the ground to take up the water, like with the massive rainstorm we've had this week, is that it just overloads the storm drain because there's not enough tree canopy to absorb it into the plants. There's not enough plants. It's all been more and more is taken out by massive housing projects, like we talked about when my friend was on here. And then with the toxic industrials in the area, the industrials, we have like 4 or 5 of them just in my area of Georgetown and South Park area, is that water from the industrials that runs off into the water, and then it affects the fish that live in the Duwamish River, which is why it's a super fun site, and why I won't eat. I mean, I'm a vegetarian, but I wouldn't eat any fish that even just swim through there due to the toxic industrials that have been there over decades. That really started during World War II when we had a farmer that sold all of his property to Boeing for $1 so he wouldn't be seen as a war profiteer. And then they started that massive push and just decided to dump everything in the river. And so that was kind of the start of the toxins in the river.
And wait, did that happen in South Park or Georgetown? Were you talking
Well,
about the selling of the land by the
no,
farmer?
that happened right over where the South Park Bridge is. If you would go over the bridge and then turn left to kind of go in the Georgetown area, that
Yeah.
whole kind of area where Boeing is there was the farmer sold the land they had, because before then it was still a pretty agricultural zone. There wasn't many industrials down here because in the earlier parts of the 1900s, we were actually a supplier of food in this area to the Pike Place Market. And then once the industrials started moving in, of course, that wasn't an option anymore because you can't really feed people from land that has toxic industrials around it.
Yeah.
But as far as the food sustainability goes, the toxins kind of go into that too, because we could grow a lot more food down here. It is traditionally was an agricultural place for the first, at least I want to say like 5 decades of settlers living here, if not more. And it's still pretty fertile soil, but we can't grow stuff in here due to all the toxins from the local industries, industrials, metal manufacturers, and what have you. And so food sustainability is a major problem in South Park, given that we don't really have a much of a local like grocery store. That's like a bit of a food desert. We do have a Red Apple up the hill, and Georgetown, I guess, might have like a grocery store or two, but I haven't really seen one up there. It's not like up until you get up into like the Central District, which is why McPherson's being taken out was a big deal, because um McPherson's was a good place to go to for food, and then they decided to do their development, which had needed to be done for like 20 years, and then that caused McPherson's to be closed down, which is cutting off a good supply of food to a lot of people in the central to southern
Are
area.
they closed permanently, or are you?
Yeah,
What? So they're developing houses on that land?
I don't know what
Or,
the developers are doing, but it seems really fishy that they've waited. They've known they would need to get this development done for the school that was over there, and then they decided to have kids go somewhere else where they developed. I mean, knowing that the school kids would make up the school kids that are going to the school right across McPherson's made up a good amount of their sales, and so when they decided to do this development all of a sudden, because they knew, I think too, that the pandemic had been hard on the survivability of the store too, as that it's like, hey, let's just get all these kids to go to school somewhere else for a bit while we do the modeling for the school, so that we can get rid of McPherson's for the community. So
okay, I understand that. There was I know we're not talking about trees today, Cedar, but I kind of figured you might be interested, and I wanted to know if you excuse me, have heard of something called a witness tree.
I have not heard of that.
Oh, okay. I'm glad I can tell you about it. There's an article I'm reading about South Carolina, and there's historic trees. I don't want to say the name of them, but I think they go back to like the 18th century. One of them they talk about is on a plantation, and they call these historic trees witness trees because they witnessed so much. They've been around for hundreds of years.
We have a bunch of really old poplar trees in South Park at the fields where we can't currently use them because the community center is being closed down, and
Oh, is it?
it's been closed down for a while, and other schools apparently bought the access to our field, so for sports season, so we won't be able to
Oh,
use
the
them.
field that's at the, yeah.
Yeah.
I know exactly where I know those trees you're talking about.
They also want to turf the field too, so when kids play on there, you're gonna have a whole bunch of injuries. So,
Oh no.
mhm.
What is that surface? When they do that, is it like a parking lot? Does it you spoke about permeable surfaces? So
Yeah, it's
like,
not very permeable. So like when the Mariners used to have the Kingdom, and they would play on the turf, you'd have a lot of players' careers get shortened because turf is hell to play on, and yeah. Another thing too is for the Black Lives Memorial Garden at Cal Anderson, the Seattle Parks and Rec wants to replace as an excuse for trying to demolish the garden there has been that they want to turf the grass, which is even more water intensive than grass is. Um,
yeah. And that's just common now. Parks, the turf is just that's fake grass, right?
Yeah, they say it's more that's environment. They tried to tell one of the meetings I listened in on a couple, honestly, like a month ago, that the Parks and Rec was having a meeting, and they're like, "Yeah, at Lincoln Park, we want to place a lot of stuff with turf," and they also are wanting to take out a bunch of trees and species so they could put in a part-time pickleball court over at Lincoln Park. So. Um, our Parks and Rec is not really being very park friendly to the environment. When I think of Parks and Rec, I don't automatically think like, yeah, let's put turf down and make this hard for people, and then let's also not be nice to homeless people. And I heard the other day that they welded shut or were trying to weld shut the bathrooms at Cal Anderson just to um, make it awkward for homeless people to use the bathroom.
Yeah.
As Yeah, and that's pretty like you're not only inconveniencing homeless people. I mean, you shouldn't be inconveniencing them anyways, but it's like you're also inconveniencing other people at the park that are trying to use the bathroom. And it's like if I was a person that lived in Cal Anderson, I would be like, what the fuck are these bathrooms doing being welded shut? It's like, yeah, this does not make very much sense.
Yeah. Hope they figure that out quickly. It's getting cold and rainy very fast. Could we talk about a little more of the food sustainability?
Oh, yeah.
I was a little excited when Breon said you'd be speaking on food, of course. I'm familiar with the farm down there. I'm just wondering if there's like if that farm feeds the community in any way, in lack of the grocery stores.
What we're trying to do, because I volunteer up at the farm sometimes, because I also volunteer up at Heron's Nest too, which is, if you Google Heron's Nest on the maps, it's on 4818 Puget Way Southwest, and I've been helping up there with expanding their food supply, and they're a lot more established as far as space to grow stuff. At the Heron's Nest, what we're doing at the farm is that we're trying to get some more like fruiting trees planted. And then we can start feeding people more. There are some crops that are growing in the ground in the garden, but I think that something really good would be planting some fruiting trees, like some fig trees and nut trees and stuff, so that because those things are pretty good at shade, but they're also pretty sustainable as far as feeding people because you can eat both chestnuts and fig trees and figs.
Figs. Yes, figs are awesome. They are hundreds of flowers turned inside out. Did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah, pretty cool. I think Daniel was asking if Cartman and Kyle were at Cal Anderson. I'm not sure.
I don't know who those people are.
Okay. Just a question, I think.
They're making a joke because South Park.
Oh, South Park.
Mhm.
I'm glad you got it, Cedar.
Yeah.
Thanks, because I thought he was talking about Cal Anderson.
Mm-mm. There is also, for those interested, this Saturday, there's gonna be the Equinox Art Walk from 3 to 9. So, if anybody wants to come from there after that closes at 5, from 3 to 9, there's the Equinox, very open house. I
Is
will
that
be there.
in South Park?
Georgetown.
In Georgetown.
Yeah.
Okay.
6555 Fifth
Art
Avenue.
Walk?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that
And
invitation.
I'll have a table. I'm doing a fundraiser for toxin remediation work in South Park. I'm trying to get the funds to put in a food forest / flood remediation areas in South Park so that we don't have as big of floods when it does inevitably happen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's right. It's I think it's flooding down at the farm in Duval, I was told right now. Well, thank you so much for coming back on today. Is there anything you want to leave us with, like just a highlight of food sustainability thought, or any kind of way that we can just get involved or make ourselves more aware of what's going on in our community?
I would volunteer at the Heron's Nest. They have the volunteer days Saturday and Monday from 10 to 2. You can go on their website, the Heron's Nest.org, I think, and fill out the volunteer paperwork, learn how to grow stuff. I would also advise mushrooming, where you get mushroom blocks and you can put those in your garden and they'll help sprout mushrooms and they'll be better for the soil. And in some places, they've tried using mycorrhiza remediation, which is like toxin remediation with different types of mushrooms. Paul Statmet, I think is his name, is really big on this. He's in Olympia.
Yes, the mushroom farm.
But
he does.
yeah.
Saying he does mycorrhiza remediation.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. I had to look him up. We tried that. We're experimenting with that at Wanawari here in the Central District in that garden space. We got to go peek and see what's going on under the soil. But hopefully those mycorrhiza, how do you say it, Cedar?
Mycorrhiza.
Yes, hopefully that's what's going on underneath the soil. But you're exactly right. We want to, there's a tree stump at Amy Yee where our youth farm is. And I'm calling that our mushroom tree because I want to get a bunch of mushroom blocks and plugs and put them in there and see if it sprouts. Well, thank you so much, Cedar. It's always a pleasure having you on, educating us. And thank you so much for the care that you put into the community.
You're welcome. You guys have a good one.
You too. We'll see you next time.
All right. Bye.
Thank you for joining Clean Greens Radio. Catch us next week. Me and Bri on 12:30, 1 o'clock. Have a great week.